everyone now, I want to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is the CEO of iFlip Invest and the founder, RandyTate. He's going to be talking about crypto equities and currency and how to use AI to invest and increase your wealth. And I've known Randy for years, and he's a great guy. We're honored to have him as part of the High Performance Summit and sharing his knowledge and wisdom with us. So, Randy, I'd like to turn it over to you.
So I'm going to have a little different conversation with you guys. I'm going to talk science with you a little bit, but not too much. Don't worry, you're not going to get created out of control. But the idea behind iFlip, FLIP is an acronym. So let's talk about who we are first. FLIP stands for the Financial Learning Information Platform. That is what we do. This is my third startup company that's no longer a startup. We're cranking right along now. We're still new. We're very new. We have about 30,000 people on our platform. So we're not very big. We are spreading across the globe, but what we've done is we've proven out that AI and technology can manage money better than a human. And this is not to be negative towards financial advisors or financial planners or professional money managers. They all serve a role in what we do, particularly if they're trusted and they care about you, as Matt said. If that happens to be the case, then we want to find ways to enroll them as well. At iFlip, we have one purpose. Our purpose is purely to empower every individual to preserve, protect, and grow their wealth. Now, I've done years of coaching small businesses, how to become big businesses. My second exit was an executive coaching and training company where we taught leaders at big corporations how to talk to and act with their employees. And a rule of thumb has always been, well, your purpose statement can't be for everybody. You got to have a niche, narrow it down. Well, I kicked that around for almost a year. And when we came to it, this is our purpose. We do have multiple marketing platforms where we go after different avatars, but our purpose is to empower every individual. Every single individual, not in America, not in Canada, not in Mexico, not in North America, in the world, to preserve, protect, and grow their wealth. And that's what we have set out to do. What we've done is we've created the most efficient and most effective mechanism for the average person to invest in the stock market and in the cryptocurrency market. We're now turning, as we've turned our genius onto crypto, which is actually brand new. It will not even be live on our platform for all of our customers until next week. These two worlds are going to have to work together. If you're investing in anything at all right now, you have a crypto account, you probably have you have an investment account, and you got a bank account, you got all kinds of different stuff. We're doing consolidation. So as we think about that, and as we think about what we're doing, we want to make sure that we're finding the right teams to work with. So let me give you a little bit of my background. I'm not real good at the self-promotion thing, but I'll tell you a little bit about me. I am a self-made entrepreneur. However, I am formally educated. I have a master's degree in education, and I spent the first 9 years out of college teaching high school and coaching science and coaching football and baseball. And that was what I thought I wanted to do for my entire life. As a matter of fact, I just did an article in a magazine where they chronicled my life story, and I thought it was interesting when I went back and read it. I've been a CEO or a president or an executive consultant now of multiple companies. I left the high school teaching world and started a company in the world I knew, which was sporting goods and distribution. One of the things I've always had a knack for is doing it differently, doing it a little bit different. You'll hear Paul Fink later today. That's his whole moniker, do it different. He's awesome. And when we say do it different, that means don't just go make something random up. Actually find a better way to do it. Many of you are probably small business owners, so feel free to put some stuff in the chat if you are. If you're a small business owner, I'm going to give you 3 marketing tips that will bundle up into one big one. if you're going to market something, the three marketing things that you'll always do, every company does this. Your message is either that you're better than whatever the competition is, or you're less expensive than whatever the competition is, or you're much easier to use and you make their life more simple. Think Netflix, right? Well, you're going to do one of those three. If you want to truly disrupt an industry, though, like Netflix did, you must do all three. Like Uber did, you must do all three. Like Apple did, you got to do all three. Now, how does that mold into what we're doing? Well, what we've done is, and what I've done is made a habit of doing that. So in that sporting goods business, we wanted a completely different way because I had been on the other side of the fence as a coach buying equipment and uniforms and all that. And the process was terrible. There was not an easy way to do it. It was not easy for anybody. So I invented one, created a new model in how to produce uniforms, equipment, and apparel for schools, clubs, teams, little leagues, places like that. And it worked really well. We got up to $5 million in revenue in year 4. And that caused a big, giant, publicly traded, multi-billion-dollar company to knock on my door and make the statement, we're going to buy you. And literally that was the statement when I first met their CEO. And of course they did. That was great. We then turned our energy on to coaching small businesses all over the world and coaching executives at the same time. It's an interesting model. That led to a job at a company called Infusionsoft, where they were one of our clients, hired me to come in and do that. And since then, I've been the CEO at iFlip since 2017 when we started this venture. I'm going to tell you about my partner a little bit. I'm going to tell you about what we do. But the first thing I want to make sure you guys understand clearly is what problems are we solving for the world? All right. We've been conditioned. The average investor in the world, all of you, have heard things like, just buy it and hold it, leave it alone, set it and forget it, put it in a mutual fund. You can't time the market. And that 9%, the market returns 9% a year. What they don't tell you is that there's a whole lot of risk in that 9%. And that 9% comes with astronomical fees that you can't see. You don't know. Your advisor doesn't even get to see all of them. Depending on what kind of mutual funds you're in or what kind of shop you've invested your money at, whether you're at, Schwab, Fidelity, Ed Jones, they all function in the same way. The industry, remember I said disrupt an industry. The industry all does it currently the same. They charge you fees on assets. They charge you percentage of assets, then they move your money into things that charges you more fees. So we just accept that. The fact is, the average account in America that has under $1 million doesn't get a 9% return. The market itself averages 9%. The fees, though, average 6%. So what does that boil down to? Not good, not efficient. We just pay the fees because we can't figure them out. So now we've got a new generation of investors. They're on Robinhood. They're all over Robinhood and Webull and all these other apps because it's free trading. I can invest for free. I control my own wealth. The problem is they don't know much about it. They follow Reddit and they follow the meme stocks and they're up and down and they're all over and they make money one day, they lose money the next. So they turn their attention to crypto. Everybody wants to know crypto. Crypto is the most scam-ridden universe out there right now. There are people making money off fictitious stuff in the crypto space all over the internet. You pull up, teach me how to trade crypto, teach me how to buy crypto. I want to buy crypto. Half of those things are going to be outside of, the big names, Coinbase, Binance. You're going to be scammed to death. So these are the problems for the average investor. Now, I know some of you are probably a little more sophisticated. So the sophisticated investor, you guys have some problems too. And these are the problems we're setting out to solve. So data is a big problem in the equities market. If you're an equities trader, an equity is a stock. If you're someone that buys and sells Apple, you're a day trader. Your data can be a problem. The time it takes to do it, because guess what? If you're doing the trading, you got to be there. It's emotionally driven. Man, I just know this stock's going to go up. I just know it's going to go down. They all do it. It's a problem. And they're trading for income versus investing for financial freedom. Two very different things. Trading for income is one animal. We support that animal. That is not something we do. We don't help people very well with that. But what we do is we help them take that income they're making and put it to work in a very safe, secure manner for financial freedom. In crypto, the ability to identify anomalies. If you're a crypto trader and you don't understand that, then we'll get you some more education as we go. It's very important to know when the anomalies occur so you know when to buy and sell. I'm going to give you guys some real deep stuff on this tomorrow. You need multiple platforms. Many of you probably have not invested in crypto because you don't want to get a wallet. Wait a minute, I got to go to an exchange and now I need a crypto key. I've got to have all these other things. So particularly older folks, as they, as we all get older and we don't want to be as, active in things, we don't do that. We don't want to do that. The fees are astronomical and the pricing between exchanges. So you're telling me Bitcoin's this much money over here and this much money over here. That doesn't seem fair. Why is that different like that? So what we do at iFlip is the financial learning platform. And we wrote and use AI. Now, I want to be really clear on this. I was excited. I haven't been out in the Boston area in a while. Last time I was out there, I was actually over there and I did a presentation for the folks over at MIT around robotics and automation and AI. And we need to understand there's significant differences in AIs and algorithms. So you've probably heard of robo-advisors. I use a robo-advisor. I go to Betterment. A robo-advisor is not AI. Any of the things you see on TV or ads you see on the internet about AI, that is not AI. It is an algorithm. It's highly exaggerated the use of AI. An algorithm, though, is good. An algorithm is a process or a set of rules that's followed in mathematics or other problem-solving operations, usually by a computer. Now, what does that mean? That means that you can program your computer to buy Apple. Any of you can do this if you have any programming skills at all. I want to buy Apple. Every time Apple goes up 5%, I want to buy it. Or it goes down 10%, I want to sell it. Whatever formula you want, that is a simple algorithm. Think of it like this. If this, then that. If this happens, do that. If this happens, do that. And algorithms work great. There are lots of algorithmic money management tools out there. That is not AI. That is not what we do. AI is also an algorithm, but it has a really unique property. Unlike just a regular algorithm, an artificially intelligent algorithm has the ability to change its own rules. So the if then that gets changed by the machine. The AI changes it. So if you're scratching your head like how the computer on 2000 or the Terminator, well, not exactly like that, but it does have the ability to change its own rules. So I'm going to say that a few times so it sinks in. What do I mean? And how does that happen? So we have 11 different artificial intelligences. Each of those is fed massive data sets from other algorithms all day long. Based on the new information it's receiving, it will change it. Maybe the algorithm originally said buy Apple at $100. Now it might say buy it at 102 or buy it at 98, or it might have all kinds of other data that says if the moving average of the entire stock market over the last 120 days reaches this, buy this, that type of stuff. So what we want to do is use artificial intelligence, not algorithms. So who invented this? Kelly Korshak is the co-founder, my partner, and he has helped develop what we call smart folios. Now, I'm telling you guys this so you can do some homework. I want you guys to do some homework and learn more about us as you go forward. A smart folio is one that learns. It does it for you. It invests your money. It is set it and forget it. I don't say forget it, but look at it. It works on the mobile, works on the web. You have two two things to understand about Kelly. One, he's very, very smart. He's one of the smartest people, if not the smartest person I have ever met in my life. Back to what Matt was talking about, you develop relationships. I was a happy executive at a huge software company. I just helped them grow from 60 to 100 million in revenue. We were doing really good. And then I met this guy. And then over a couple of years, there's that couple of years of relationship building, we decided to automate him. That's what we've done. We've automated him. Kelly's, when I say he's pretty smart, he went to Stanford. A lot of people are like, oh, Stanford. Well, he went to Stanford's physics program at the age of 16. He then went on to the University of Chicago, not too far from you guys, and ended up with advanced degrees in statistics, mathematics, and finance. Left there, became a quant on Wall Street, a mathematician that big firms would hire to come in and build mathematical formulas to do one of those things that you've been told can't be done, predict the market. Now, when I say predict the market, I don't mean it's not like picking the horses at, the horse race, picking the statistical likelihood of future happenings. And that's what he did. When he was at Deutsche Bank, he was the risk manager he saw the risk over all the bank's assets, $4 billion that he privately managed and traded in the markets with mathematics and algorithms. See, mathematics don't have an opinion. Algorithms don't care, and I'm not being callous. Algorithms don't care if there's a war. They don't care who the president is. They don't care who's doing what in office. They don't, care who won the Super Bowl. All algorithms care about is what they've been programmed to track and care about in data. It's all about data. And data over time is always better as an assessment tool than our opinions. It always is. So he's the guru behind it. Now I'm going to give you guys a couple little lessons here and show you a few things and then take some questions here in a few minutes. Everybody asks this question. Before you ask it, I'm going to answer it in a different way. The question is this, so Randy, you have AI that trades the stock market. That's pretty cool. How did it return? How has its returns been since 2017? Okay, great question. It needs more information. How has the returns been relative to the risk it took? Whenever you go somewhere, that's what I want you to do. Think about that. What is the return versus the risk? If you have a financial advisor now, if you have a planner, I would like you to ask them one question. You might want to write this down. Ask them, what is the Sharpe ratio of the funds or the investment you have me in? Sharpe stands for risk. So the Sharpe ratio, if you invest $1 to make $1, is a Sharpe of 1. It's a very important term. It is the one you really need to know the most. If I know that my Sharpe ratio is 10.1, meaning I'm risking $1 to make 10 cents, I'm going to be like, ooh, that's a lot of risk. If you invest in the traditional things, whether it's Bitcoin or the S&P 500, you're going to have, in a buy and hold situation, very low Sharpe ratios. The only way you bring those Sharpe ratios up is through extended time. This is where things like annuities come in. An annuity will guarantee you income, but you have to leave the money there for 10 years. That's because over time, the markets will win, but it takes a lot of time. We want to shorten that. So as we start to shorten that, it's like, okay, great. I want a 1-to-1 or a 0.8-to-1. If you invest privately, just by yourself in the S&P 500, you're gonna have a Sharpe ratio of about 0.35. Most mutual funds are around 0.3. So we take advantage of risk to grow wealth. Now we can talk about returns. Let me show you one simple one. One simple one in this equities place, and I'm going to show you one in the crypto space. So if you look right here, you're looking at two things. The blue line is simply the S&P 500. Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. The orange is the AI trading. And when I say trading, it's not sending you a signal, it's actually executing, it's doing the trading for you. It's a self-automated machine. You see what happens, and this is education. There's almost no risk in 2018, if you can see my cursor, because it's going flat. It's just going flat. Then all of a sudden, at the end of 2018, there was a little drop, up 15%. AI went flat, came out ahead of time. COVID, same thing. So as you plug it along, while you're invested in it, you notice it does exactly the same thing. The only time there's difference is when there's a big drop. This isn't about day trading. This isn't about guessing. This is about understanding the mathematics right around here that say a cliff is coming. Guess what? Our AI is 85% in cash right now, has been for over 60 days. You might think that's probably a good idea, which it is. Then if you look here, it goes up again, flat, up again, flat. Every time there's a little correction, it takes you out, creating separation over time through the management of risk. Older people, definitely, we all need that. It's not rocket science to give up some of the very good high stuff in order to make a lot of, to miss all the low stuff. The other thing you've been told is that if you've heard someone say this, if you skip the 10, is in the last 20 years, if you started with $1 million and you missed the 10 best days, over 20 years, if you only miss 10 days of the market, your $1 million would be 5 million if you didn't miss it. If you miss those 10 days though, it would drop to 2 million. It would be that expensive. They don't tell you is that if you also miss the 10 worst days, you miss the 10 worst days over the last 20 years, and you miss the 10 best days over the last 20 years, your $1 million would be 17 million. So missing the downturns is the key to creating success through investment. Now, how does that work in crypto, Randy? Well, this is where we're really excited. We're doing something very, very new, very, very unique. We allow you to invest in smart folios. This will be live next week. I'm launching this. You guys are one of the first people to hear about this. Excuse me. We're launching this next week. Next week. And inside of that smart folio is going to contain the SPY. That's the S&P 500. It's going to contain Apple. It's going to contain Bitcoin. And it's going to contain Ethereum. So this becomes your portfolio, and the AI manages all the buying, all the selling, all the wallets, all the keys, everything gets managed for you. All you have to do is point and click. Done, nothing else to do, one time, and then it's fully automated for you. It's super simple, super easy to use. I'm going to give you a real quick demo of what that looks like here in 1 second. The interface of our software looks like this. This is what it looks like when you log in, and I'm going to jump to that real quick, and I'm going to share that with you. Hopefully I do this right, Jason. Let's see here. I should be sharing my screen still. Oh, let's see if I'm doing it right. Come on, work for me. There I did. Oh, wrong screen.
Yeah, that's not.
You can see now?
There it is, Randy.
Perfect. So this is what that home screen looks like I just showed you. It shows you the amount of money you've got invested, shows you how much money is allocated, and then allows you to follow along with its performance on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. But Randy, I'm not a trader. I don't know anything about it. Okay, perfect. We're for you. Real simple. You've funded accounts with like Venmo or PayPal. We're as easy to use as that. Click on the simple start trading button. Really easy. It's the easiest thing ever. And then anything in blue is a smart folio. If you're super smart though, you're like, you know, Randy, I'm actually pretty smart. I trade myself. I'm pretty good at it. I'm going to do it myself. Manual. All the cards turn white. So what does that mean? Okay, so now I'm in the blue. I'm back in the AI. I'm just going to, like you saw up there, I'm going to click on it and see what it's all about. So just grab one, SPY. What does the SPY do? All right. So you click on it, you scroll down to the bottom. It shows you all the stocks that are in it. Well, Randy, I don't know what these are. What is the Oxy? Oh, well, you just simply click on it. It'll bring up that particular stock, what it did yesterday, what it's done in the last 3 months, what it's done over any amount of time. It'll give you all the news about it, all its basic information, so you can learn a little bit about that stock if you want that much information. A lot of people don't. And then you can see the AI has you invested. If you owned this Smartfolio, you would only own one stock right now. Gives you a little bit of information about it. This is a 2-to-1 reward. There's your Sharpe ratio, right? And then gives you basic returns, but it doesn't own it, so it's out. So you're not in that one. You want to go back to this one, and you can do your own homework on it. We also, when you buy our software, we help you with it. You get a live human privately to walk you through it, demo it for you, and show it to you. So I just wanted to show that real quick. Jason, give them a little look at the software and what it does, how it is all point and click. So what is the solution to all these problems? Well, we think the solutions are pretty simple. One, you got to trade smart. That is kind of our moniker, trade smart. Now, we trade in equities, cryptos, ETFs, individually or combined. You want to be Robinhood? You can do that as well. You can buy and sell on our platform on your own. You can buy it, sell it, and that's completely free. Free trading all day long. Automated protection, important. Flat monthly subscription. Everyone asks, Randy, how do you guys get paid? Well, we only get paid on the software fee. There's no back-end hidden fees. Nothing else in the back. Nothing else is set up. No money coming out in funds. We have, like I said, we built the world's first artificial intelligent investing app. It empowers anyone to succeed like a professional investor. We've proven now that it's a superior performance and protection tool that allows you to get in and out of the market only at times that are favorable to you. It's as if you had an entire team of Wall Street professionals working exclusively just for you. And nowhere else in the world is doing this. You don't have this technology and this capability at Goldman Sachs, at the top ends of Morgan Stanley. They don't have these capabilities. AI and methodologies that were available only for the real wealthy are now available for everybody. So it's pretty simple. We have a simple formula, and I'm going to give you guys some opportunities here today. The main opportunity I'm going to give you is to set up a time to get a private walkthrough, build a relationship, get to know us, learn more in detail about what we do, and then look at us as an option if you're interested in building wealth. You're at the High Performance Success Summit, so I'm assuming that you're here to create, build, or just protect wealth. If that's the case, you're in the right spot. We've got a tool for you to use. When you marry in the combination of crypto and equities, that's the game changer that we're bringing to the planet. Yes, we're the first with AI. Yes, we're the first on mobile and web. Yes, we're the first to do this in a SaaS subscription model. Now we're adding crypto on a global scale. This is going to change the way in which the world invests, the way the world trades, and the way the world puts their money to work in the markets. We've built it to be disruptive. We've been around now since 2018. We just are finishing our beta launch, and we're going out to the world starting April 1st. Like I said, you guys are first at this. If you want to invest just a tiny little bit, you can set up a call with Lee, one of our guys, or Aaron, and they'll teach you how to onboard. They'll show you how to set it up, and it's completely free. You can trade up to $3,000 in AI and crypto for free. You can do all of that for free. And then it scales up. It's an annual fee after that. You pay it for once a year. You can pay monthly if you choose, but it's an annual fee topping out at $1,500 a year. So the way it works is this, and I'm going to take some questions, Jason, and give you a little time back. So if you went to our website right now and bought it, this is how we've sold it through beta. We've sold an upfront cost and a monthly subscription. So it's $2,000 for the software and $77 a month. That's how it's been the entire time. That's how we've sold it for the last couple of years, and we've sold it to thousands of people. While we're at events and while I'm getting ready to launch this, we're selling the Pro platform. We're calling it our Ultimate now. We're adding a level. for $1,500 a year, one fee, one time. You can pay twice a year, you can pay monthly, you can pay annually. I'm not even going to give you an order form to use right now. This is going to be the offer available to you, though. A couple chats. We'll get to some chats. Let me grab your questions in 2 seconds. I see you guys asking some questions in here. Now, if you like the concept and you like the idea, this is what I was talking about. Here's how you get a hold of people. You can text the word invest to this number. Yes, if you already have an account set up, I'll make sure this offer is honored for you as well. Anybody that's part of Jason's group that's here today, when you get on the phone with Lee or get on a webinar with Lee or Aaron, tell them you met me here, and they will, you want the deal. They know what they're talking about. But that text right there will give you a link to a calendar. It'll get you set up. It'll get you going. I wanted to be not super fast today. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk to you guys a lot about AI. I'm going to give you more details about how it works. I'm going to show you trading points and points in history that mathematics shows are better than just the way it works today. Because I know always everyone's crammed in the first day. So whether you got $200 to invest or a couple of million, we can help you do that. We also have a hedge fund. If you're an accredited investor that really wants to play deep in the crypto space, then we have a hedge fund that's available for accredited investors only, and it is a pure crypto hedge fund. So Randy, does flip trade altcoins? Not yet. Not yet. We're starting really small with the coins we're trading. We're only going to offer 8 at first because, again, mapping them with AI is one thing. Getting them at very low, almost no fees. Like we were doing some testing, final testing with it yesterday. The only fees that come out are on the back, very similar to Robinhood. Whereas like, I don't know, $500 worth of Bitcoin the fee on it was like 25 cents. So that's sort of how the fees will work in the crypto side of it. And again, buy and sell or let the AI do it. So Jason, that's kind of my introductory presentation in a nutshell. Is about as fast as I can do it. I know I was trying to get out of here by 7:30, and that gives us 15 minutes of questions if we need it. If not, we can have some time back.
You got plenty of time, Randy, because I have you scheduled in for 60 minutes, and we're at 10:15. So it's typically Dave Seabold is not coming on till 11 a.m.
Okay, so we got some time. So let's see if we have any questions here or what we want to talk about, or I'll give you guys a little deeper dive into how the software works. Up to you guys. Let me ask, look in the Q&A. You take strong relationship. Oh yeah, that was for Matt. Yeah.
Why don't you go into the software a little bit, how it works?
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'll give you guys a full demo of it. All right, so let's talk about the whole thing here. Let's just walk somebody through as if they just got a brand new account. This is how easy it is. So if you think about at the very beginning, these would all be zero. This is a dashboard. This is just one of my accounts that I use as a demo. This is an individual account. You also have the ability to go to a self-directed account. You can take a self-directed account and an individual account and your Roth and all your IRAs and everything and put it in here. As you're sitting here looking at it, you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. I want to put some money in. Remember, everything we've done has been around the principle of simplicity. We want to be easy. So you click on the funding button. If you don't have a bank set up, you will just put your bank information in, and then the legalities around the verifications of banking will happen. Once your banks get verified, the little orange dot always symbols what's in. So this is the one currently using. If I clicked on this one, it would use this bank. Once that account is verified, and you have to understand verification takes a couple of days because the government has to make sure you're not a terrorist or a money launderer. Those are the two big things that they check to make sure you're not. You want to transfer money to Flip, or do you want to transfer money to your bank? This account has $46,000 in cash sitting in it that it can transfer to the bank. So you can put as much of that as you want in there. If you want to transfer to Flip, It's whatever's in your bank account. You can put that much money in, no minimums. We've had people do this to over $1 million on this. Review it, make sure that it's right, and hit go. If you're international, I imagine you're up in Boston, we may have some Canadians on here. You have to go by wire. Here's all the wire information. The idea is to make it really easy for you to move money. Then we can go back to our home screen. Once we're in our home screen, once we're in there, it's pretty simple. We can look at this and say, okay, great. I just transferred $94,000 into my account. Everything else right here would be zero because no money is allocated yet. You can see the AI's got, or this particular account, because it's got a lot of buy and holds, has 48,000 allocated, but the AI only has 7 of it into the market. So you're sitting there looking at it going, okay, great. Now what do I want to do? You want to start trading. That button I talked about earlier, click on that button. I would encourage you to look at these and just do some reading on them. One of the ones that has been pretty successful is our red oil one. This account actually owns red oil. So I can click on red oil. I can scroll down and I can see what's in it. There's 4 stocks in red oil. In this one, I'll give you an idea of how we create these smart folios. This one was created in April of 2020. In April of 2020, crude oil was at $15 a barrel. Kelly, knowing that it wasn't going to stay at $15 a barrel, that was definitely COVID related, built a smart folio around that with the intent, remember that risk reward? 2-to-1 reward to risk opportunity. 2-to-1 reward. So risk $1 to make 2, sharp of 200, just insane numbers, right? Or a sharp of 2. So as he puts together all of his components inside of this, and I might have him jump on in the morning and talk a little bit about this with you guys as well. This is more than double over its time frame. That's what it was designed to do. It tells you how much risk you're going to take. This would be a moderately risky play. The minimum investment, it takes $300 is all to own this smart folio. When you own this smart folio, then it will automatically manage these guys for you. Gives you basic statistics so you can really go back and look on a daily basis. You know, this has been in 3,775 trading days. If you take it all the way back, it's best day, worst day. So a lot of people will say this, Randy, its best day is not that much better. It went down 15% in one day. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, March 18, 2020. If you guys remember what happened then. But what you also need to see is this: how many days did it win versus how many days did it lose? How many days did it do nothing? So it's winning 32% of the time. Average win, average loss, statistics, performance. You can pull up all your graphs over time where you can do it monthly, daily, weekly, where you can see them. And then you can just follow along. You see oil got clobbered the last week, but also notice they were out. They're not in it. Over here to the right, you see all the things you own. 2 smart folios, SPY Plus, which has 0 invested, Red Oil, which has 7,000 invested. But of that 7,000, it's not all 7,000 invested. Remember, you go down here, only 25% of that is invested. So if it was 10 grand, it's right there in the middle. So you're only at 25% of your money at risk currently. And then the ones in white are buy and hold. Ooh, chat. So as you look at this and see what it's doing, this gives you a whole idea. Now, if you want to see how the action has been and what you actually own, you click on that. It's going to give you a simple list of all the stocks that are owned. Blue is AI managed, white is manual managed. So you're there, and that's how it works. Now, if you want to see it in actual action, I got a chart I was going to show you tomorrow, but I will show you this today. If I can grab it. I don't know where it is today. Let me open it. I'll come back to it. So you're like, okay, awesome, great. Back to my home screen. What how am I doing? What do I have allocated? What do I have marked? The whole idea, folks, is to make it super, super simple. If we want to look at some of those charts, I'll show you a couple of those right now. When I talk about risk, from here. Nope, it's not what I wanted to do. So when you talk about risk, this is how you start to really create wealth. This is how it grows and moves as you start to move, right? So if you look back in time, this is how the AI would have performed. Many of you in 2007 got killed. They're 57% down. We expect it to go down another 50% over the course of this next downturn. That's our expectation. 12 is great. During the trade war and during COVID, these are live. We were actually trading real people's money when this happened. And it went down a little bit, but not a lot. That's the idea on how you save real money over significant periods of time. And this mat is, Jason, is designed to demonstrate all of that. So as you look at it and you look at what we're doing, come on, get off my screen. All right, or don't. Screen's way behind. As you start to build and create wealth, you want to look at your ability to perform over time. You want to put your money to work. You want to put it into investments, and you want to make sure that you're putting it in a way that it's protected. You want to find a simple, easy mechanism to do it. And I just want to invite everybody, like I said, Jason, I want to invite everybody to actually text that. Come get a full demo, get a full blown, understand what we do. If you have money that's put to work now, well, maybe it's an old 401k from an old job, or maybe it's something that you've got just sitting in a savings account. We want to make sure that we're helping you get that put to work in a manner that both preserves, protects, and grows your wealth. And so any other, if I have any other questions, I'm happy to jump on them. Jason, anything you want to add or anything you want to pop in with? You've seen us for a while. You know, this is what we do. I do lots of other education around things, like leadership and business training a lot. This is our main focus right now. So no questions on it, huh?
Well, I don't see, let me check the chat here.
No, I'm watching the chat. There's none.
No, there's no questions on there, but I think what you've done is you really have a system here that helps people understand how to use AI and invest, and also invest wisely. Because like you said, there's a lot of scams out there in the crypto space. And that's such a new area for a lot of people. They don't wrap their mind around it yet,
Particularly in crypto, they don't understand it. So when I look at it, here's the AI working, and then we'll wrap up with this. I know we started a little early. We got a few minutes left, so I'll take the time to share this with you. This is actually the AI doing the work. So every time you see these little red dots down here beneath it, these are the risk levels being taken. The little blue dot means buy. Little red dot means sell. So what happens is if you go back to 2018 and you look at this, the AI is using this predictiveness. It bought and then it sold right next to each other, and it missed this little uptick right here. Then it came all the way down, it bought and then sold, bought, sold, and it's trying to find the turning point. So it's got a very short leash. Then it got out. So we're on about a dead wash right here. Then the market just tanks. Buys down here, sells right here, buys, sells, buys, sells. The idea is it's trying to predict. It's not trying. It is predicting how the AI learns. This is how it starts to adjust its parameters with new data that's coming into it over and over and over again. And so that it's taking, particularly like this is the S&P 500. It's taking all the data from the components of the S&P 500 and factoring in. Some questions people generally ask is, what data is it looking at? Is it paying attention to the news? No, it is not. It's all technical. It's looking at the moving averages. It's looking at the last week, month, year, 10 years. It's looking at the correlation between the stock and the entire market over those time frames. Believe it or not, some of them look at weather. What's the weather patterns doing? Because weather patterns will have a drastic impact on things like wheat or farming things. Oil, obviously, you saw how we were able to take advantage of the oil, significant advantages of it there. So this is what it looks like to the computer and to Kelly. And then to the rest of us, like I showed you earlier, it looks like this. This is one, I'll show you the 3 crypto smart folios. This is the one I showed you earlier. The red is buying and holding the S&P 500, Apple, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. The blue is actually letting the AI do the trading for you. And what it does is, it keeps creating an arbitrage between it. I'll give you a big one on what I'm talking about. You might be familiar with the Bitcoin Trust, the Global Bitcoin Trust, the GBTC. You can trade that on the stock market. It's part of the Grayscale Fund. It trades Bitcoin. It's correlated to Bitcoin. So it should be the same price as Bitcoin, right? It's not. There's a magic arbitrage between the GBTC and Bitcoin. Now, the GBTC is not part of this smart folio, but it is part of the information feeding the AI. There's a 2% spread. Anytime there's a 2% spread between the GBTC and Bitcoin itself, that's a buying or a selling opportunity. You should be doing both. But if you're trading Bitcoin, if Bitcoin gets more than 2% higher than the global Bitcoin trust, if that separation gets more than 2% and Bitcoin's on top, you sell. If the global Bitcoin trust is on top, you buy the Bitcoin. So for those of you that are out there trading just Bitcoin, you're traders and you're in the trading of the crypto world, have at it. That will help you a ton. If you can map that and keep up with it in real time, that's what you want to do. So I thought this might be of some real interest. Jason, I got Matt's name written in front of me, so I want to make sure to give him some credit. So when we think about it, this is the simplest way to do it. The other one I was going to show you, those are the ones I really wanted to share with you guys, along with our software, a little bit about us, and hopefully pique your interest to have a little interest in learning about AI, more AI education tomorrow, and a little more deep dive into what the software does.
No, I think that's great, Randy. I mean, you've done a really great job in communicating what the software does, how you add value with iFlip Invest. And you want to really take this time, everyone, to ask Randy some questions in the Q&A, the chat. I know our next speaker is not till 11 a.m. Dave Seymour. He'll be coming on. But take this opportunity, life-changing paradigm, Phil Conway. Let me go to it. Phil, life-changing paradigm. Repeat this info, see how powerful it is. So that was a comment from Phil, which it was awesome. And I think that's such a thing about life-changing and great. So take some time here, Randy, because if you want to open it up, because we still have time. The thing is, our next speaker is not really into about 11. Dave will probably be on about 10:50-ish. I can start a little early. But if there's anyone that has questions, if Randy, you want to cover anything that you feel you didn't cover to set up day 2 for you, I'm happy because I scheduled you for a whole hour. So we still have about 18 minutes left in presentation. So
yeah, no, I got you. I was planning on going 45 minutes and then 15 of Q&A. So I'm happy to answer some Q&A. And you're right, Phil. We are changing a paradigm. So when we talk about paradigm shifts, I'll give you guys a little side bonus conversation here. Thank you, Phil, for the nudge. You're correct. How do we change paradigms, or how do we change occurrences? A lot of the education I do that's not just straight related to our software is about changing occurrences, about what our job is, what our job is. And when you think about someone's occurrence, it's rooted in right. It's rooted in right. What does that mean, right? Well, if you go down and talk to an old school traditional financial advisor, the way they do it is right. Their paradigm is that this is the way it's always been done. This is the way we're going to do it. That is exactly what it is. So what happens when, well, question, well, how long, I'll jump back into that. So add to Phil's comment. How are we changing the traditional way people invest and trust using AI? That's exactly what I'm going to jump into, Jeffrey. So currently today, there is no AI. There is no other option for it in the world. So our first paradigm shift is helping people understand what is AI. AI is not an algorithm. It is not a robo-advisor. That is not AI. AI is machine learning and execution. Applying that to the stock market and to the crypto markets, how does that shift the way people behave? Well, people like to do things that are better. So one, we have a track record of performance that's better than the traditional means of investing. That's number one. So if we do it better, people should like us. The next shift is how do we are much, much less expensive. So we do it better and we're less expensive. Next thing is, how easy are we to use? Well, we're much easier to use than traditional management. So if we think about those three things, what's the paradigm we're shifting? The paradigm we're shifting is for two specific groups. The older crowd who likes to go sit by the guy with the mahogany desk and make sure they look at all the charts and he's managing their money. We need them to learn that that person is probably not managing their money. They're giving that money to a money manager who they're paying a fee to, who's putting it into a fund that's backed by big banks. That's the reality of it. That's also charging fees. For the young person who doesn't buy that, we need to help them understand that Robinhood is not the answer, because Robinhood doesn't help them grow their wealth. Robinhood doesn't protect them. Robinhood doesn't give them tools. Robinhood allows them a vehicle to buy and sell for free inside their platform. That's it. We're combining both. The paradigm shift is that we are not smarter than the machine, that we can preserve, protect, and grow our wealth in a much better fashion if we allow the AI to do it, because the AI is better only always. Say that again. The AI is better only always. It wins every time. Even Kelly can't beat his own machine over time. Now, in a one-off, yep. I mean, if you really want to talk about return on investment, the best return on investment you can get is roulette, 35 to 1. Bet on one number, but you take a lot of risk to do that. So that's that shift. So back to where I was going, the traditional advisory world has got themselves into the mindset that they're right. The way it's always been done, this is right. Just like Blockbuster said, nobody will ever want to order a video in the mail, let alone stream it directly to their house. That's crazy. They like to come down to the video store and shop. And so when you think about that, then you're going to be like, wow, this is different. This paradigm has to shift. So what are we in the business of doing? We're in the business of shifting paradigms, making people see it differently, making sure they understand that the world is a little bit different in the investing space now, just like it was in the video space or in the share ride space or in any of the particular avenues that you want to shift in occurrence. And then we have to realize that their occurrence is rooted somewhere, and to be respectful towards that and to understand it. The minute you stop being right and start being curious, you'll start to win. I would encourage you guys to do that with every speaker you hear today, everything you look at, everything you see. What are they offering that's different? What's new? What's unique? Understand where they're coming from. Understand, Matt earlier talking about the importance of relationships and meeting people. Paul doing it differently, this different software. And I know there's a whole bunch of other softwares that are good, speakers that are going to be on here as well. We want to just make sure we're getting the time for you to understand that there is truly a different way to do it. Get your mind into that paradigm, get yourself set into that, and commit yourself to not be right. Don't be right for the rest of the time. Don't be right about anything you've ever saw, everything you think, everything you've learned. Don't be right about it. Simply be curious about it, and then go learn, and then go seek to learn.